You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Hello there. Welcome to WGSN-DB Digital Broadcasting, Going Solo Network. You're listening to the Business Showcase. I'm your host today, CC Schatz, author, radio personality, and CEO of My Friends Connect. Today, we're going to be focusing on our Business Showcase, and we have Brad Hubbard with us today. Hello, Brad.
Good morning, CC. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You have a company called National Flood Expert. And that is pretty cool because here in Florida, flooding is really, and of course we're hearing it now all over, flooding is becoming a big issue, a big hot topic. Yeah,
it really is. It affects millions of homeowners throughout the state. You know, I created this company to help out where I can.
Now, how long have you had this company?
I've been doing this work for a little over 3 years. Really, I only started this particular company about a year ago. So we've been working for about 1 year on this.
And what is your focus in your company?
What we focus on is trying to help people save money on flood insurance, is the layman's way of looking at it. We analyze people's individual properties to see whether or not they should be paying these high rates for flood insurance. So FEMA does their math. They take a look at the whole broad area, the whole city, the whole county. We come in and look on an individual property by property basis to see that, you know what, yes, you are in a flood zone area, but the way that your home is built, you're actually above where they say it'll flood. You shouldn't be required to carry flood insurance, or you can pay flood insurance, but you pay a much lower rate. So that's what we do. We try to analyze people's properties to see how we can help, how we can save them on flood insurance.
So that's basically like flood rezoning, flood insurance reductions, and you do some consulting with regards to that.
Yeah, you know, it would really fall under consulting because we don't sell insurance. What we do is we just try to give people the best information possible and help them to get rezoned if we can. If it looks like their home has a low likelihood of flooding, then they should be paying that kind of a rate for flood insurance. They should be paying a cheap rate because they have a low likelihood. An example is a lady I got off the phone with about an hour ago. She is paying $3,100 a year for flood insurance. The home has been around for over 50 years, has never had a flood. It's insane how much she's being, it's probably a $130,000, $140,000 home. So she's paying an enormous amount of money every single year, but we're able to go in there, take a look at it, and submit up to FEMA, and then she's going to come back and she's going to pay about $600 a year as opposed to $3,000 a year, which that more accurately reflects her true risk. So that's an example that happened this morning of what we do.
Yeah, I think that's great. And one of the reasons why I had wanted to bring you on the show is because that actually happened to myself. We had a home. It was a little bit older home, no flooding at all in the area for many, many years, never ever happened. And we were paying very high flood insurance. And so we had taken a look at that and did the necessary steps. And it was a long process to be able to do it. So to have someone like you that we can go to be able to say, hey, look at our property. Do we really have to have this much insurance? Maybe we need some insurance, but maybe we don't need as much insurance. And have you do the expertise, you're the expert on it, you do the research and figure out what needs to be done. Then we know what we need to do and what we shouldn't do. If we need the flood insurance, the higher rate, then of course that's what we need. But if we don't, it's just such a shame to spend your dollars that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I think that flood insurance has a purpose. There are obviously a lot of people out there that have a very high risk of flooding and you need it. But we just want to make sure that everyone is paying what they should be paying. In your case there, you're paying a lot of money for flood insurance when you really didn't need to. So that's, like you said, that's the way we try to help. And, we've gotten the process down to where we can, from the day that we talk to you to the day that you're out, it could be as little as 2 or 3 days. We've worked with FEMA over the last few years and developed quite a very efficient process to get the work done with them.
Well, that's great, because I will tell you the process that we had to go through wasn't a couple days. It was a long
yeah.
Now, I was looking at your website. Your website is nationalfloodexperts.com. And you have a really nice blog on there that you do. And I was noticing that it looked like January 1st, there were some changes that were made on the escrow requirements regarding flood insurance. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. What happened on January 1st was any new business or refinance or any new loan on a home with flood insurance, they're requiring that flood insurance is now escrowed on as part of the mortgage. You are not allowed to pay it on your own. You're not allowed to, you can pay your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance, all that stuff on your own, but they're now requiring that flood insurance is escrowed. So they're just trying to make sure that they have more ready access to your money for the flood insurance side of everything. But yeah, so anyone who gets a new loan inside of a flood zone will be required to escrow their flood insurance as part of that loan. And that was new as of January 1st.
So that's really an important blog that you put out there to help homeowners understand what they're going to have to do, because that is quite a lot of money. It's important that they do know that. So it's a great service that you give to be able to share with them. So now tell me, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, do you handle flood insurance? What areas? I mean, is it in particular counties? Is it in the state of Florida? Do you go outside of Florida? Can you tell us what areas you handle?
Sure. We handle our consulting across the country. So we work anywhere that FEMA does. The 48 states, the islands, anywhere where they have created their flood maps and regulate the flood insurance in the areas, we can do work there. So there's very few places that we are unable to help people out.
That's great. And then do you do like an initial consultation with them? Can they just give you a call, and is it a pretty easy process for them?
Yeah, the way that our process works is you can reach out to us in multiple different ways, but either through submitting through our internet, through the website, or giving us a call. But our typical process is we do our initial assessment and review for free. So if you called up and said, hey, here's my address, here's how much I'm paying, and can you guys help? We'll take a look at your property, look at all the information that we're able to find publicly on your home and the surrounding areas, and then get back with you with sort of our initial thoughts. If we have enough information, we can sometimes get back to you and say, hey, look, 100%, we can 100% get you removed from the flood zone and go from there. Other times, we'll need a little bit more information. Once we have enough information and we say that, yes, we can get you removed from the flood zone, our fee is $500 one time. That fee is 100% guaranteed. So if we say that we are able to get you out of the flood zone, you pay us the $500. If for any reason whatsoever, FEMA comes back and says, you know what, Brad, because of X and Y, we cannot remove this home from the flood zone, we refund all of the money back to the client. I wanted our entire company to be 100% risk-free for our clients. I don't want them to fear any kind of a scam or anything like that. So, our entire process is transparent and risk-free for our clients, because I think that we provide an amazing service and has a lot of value for our clients. And I want to reach as many people as we possibly can.
Wow, Brad, that is really terrific that you are willing to do that, because many companies are not able to or even want to put themselves out with such a guarantee like that. So that is really awesome. Now, I wanted to ask you too, because I'm not that familiar with this, and I do apologize because I'm not the expert in insurance or flood insurance or anything like that. So I'm kind of a layperson here. But if you were building a house, let's say for just on the property, if you were building a house, could you still assess it to see whether you could minimize your expense for flood insurance?
Absolutely. And, with the majority of codes that are out there right now, municipalities require that you build it to a certain standard even to get a permit inside flood zones. But I love being able to talk to the architect or the engineer and just, say, you know what, if you do this and this, their insurance will be $400 a year as opposed to $1,700 a year. One little change, you bring in an extra $1,000 of fill, you're going to save yourself $2,000 a year forever. Little changes that you can make at the design and construction side that will save money for the duration of the home or business. I love being able to talk to people in that area. My background's engineering. I don't know if we mentioned that, but I'm a civil engineer by education, and beginning of my career and very familiar with permitting through FEMA and the municipalities and dealing with all their regulations and stuff. So I like talking to people at that point to give them pointers and let them know, do this and this and this, and you'll be much happier when you get your flood bills for years to come.
Well, that's great. You really are able to see, if you start at the ground floor, if you're starting to build a home, to really come to you maybe first to kind of look at some of those things, to evaluate. Yeah, I wish some of these big builders out there would also do that, come to you and say, hey, let's try to save the homeowner some money once they get into the house and build their whole projects, their whole development in a way that we're free of flood would be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a couple companies that do that currently. And like you said, I actually live in a community where the builder did that. They went out and did the work for all 92 homes before they sold them. But most of them do not. And being able to get in there at that point, it's such a benefit to the end user for forever. It's not just a one-time thing. It's forever. So, yeah, I love talking to those type of people and wish I could talk to them more.
Right. So it would be really great. So if you're looking to buy a house, if you're starting to buy a house, you put a contract down on a house and everything like that, I would think as you're getting your closing, ready to do your closing and everything, to talk to you about insurance would certainly be a good idea. If you're in that flood zone or you're not in that flood zone, what you need to do to get yourself out of that flood zone might be a good conversation to have.
Absolutely. If you're under contract with a home and you're required to purchase flood insurance as part of your mortgage, and you're going to have to come to closing with, $1,000, $3,000, whatever the number. Yes, please reach out to us. We can, about 50% of the time, we're able to help. So, there's a 50% chance that we'll be able to help you out there, at closing and then forever in there. So if you're in that process of looking to buy a home in a flood zone, please reach out to us. We can shed a lot of light on the subject, for good or for bad. We can tell you that this is a bad decision, a good decision, let you go from there. But I love being able to help people at that time as well.
Wow, this is a really heads up for, I think, our listeners out there, that if you're looking to buy a home, if you're looking to build a home, if you are in a home and you are paying flood insurance, you certainly want to reevaluate it and give you a call for the small amount of money that you're charging. It can save you thousands over the lifetime of living in your home. So I think it's definitely a great thing. So how do we get a hold of you, Brad?
Sure. You can email us at just support@nationalfloodexperts.com. There's lots of different contact forms and things like that at our website, which is www.nationalfloodexperts.com. And then you can call us at 1-800-561-0396. And we'd be happy to talk with you and walk you through our process and see if we're able to help.
Absolutely. Now, you do have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, we do.
I connected.
/National Flood Experts. Yes, I did see that. Thank you.
So definitely contact him on the Facebook page, because I'm sure that you post a lot of really good information there too. And like I said, the blogs that you have on your website, very good. Very good for a layperson to be able to read them, understand what's happening. As we own our homes and we continue to evolve, things change, and it's nice to be able to have experts like yourself, Brad-Hubbard, to be able to go to look at some of these things, to evaluate what our needs really are versus just paying the bill when it's year. So you definitely want to do that. Again, you are talking to Brad-Hubbard. He's with National Flood Experts. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network on our business showcase. And it's so wonderful to have you on the show, Brad, and thank you so very much.
Thank you, Cece. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, so connect with us right here on our Facebook page. We'll put all the information for Brad when we air the show, and we're looking forward to having more shows with the Business Showcase. Bye for now.